Okay. Hello, dear friends. Good evening. Such a beautiful, beautiful and quiet evening. So this video is a voiceover, and I am at home. I think you can hear my clock, di-da, 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 that sound. And this is a beautiful, beautiful afternoon, and it's Thanksgiving weekend, and there was a lot of rain, and it was very, very cold. And there were not so many people on the street, so I went out to take some pictures. Just want to have some fresh air. And living in California, we were always very, very dry. And suddenly we got some rain, and it was wonderful. So I went to this park. And this video is a voiceover about some friends' comments. One friend asked Haiying, I was wondering if you could talk about procrastination and not being motivated, and how to be motivated to do things. I'm still young, and I want to turn my life around and start eating healthy and exercise more. The problem is that I procrastinate. I procrastinate a lot, and I'm just not motivated at all. I really want to have a healthy body and also a healthy mind. So as I was walking here, and as I was swimming, I thought about it. And one of my daily activity is that I go to swim. I swim every day, and in swimming, when I swim, it is time for me to think about how to reply. And it's really very, very inspiring and different. Because if you always stay at home, you are not in the motion, your body is not in the motion, then your mind is hard to get into a motion. And we need to get ourselves start to do something, to move around, to walk, to do things, and change the position, change the status, change the location, and do something different, and go to some places different. And every day I swim, that is a very good thing that I do, because I am in the movement. Even if you relax, swim, it's in the motion, it's in an activity. Your body is in the movement, and it helps to stimulate our brain activity. This is what I feel. At least I am not a meditation person. It is. I have never done this, or maybe I have tried something. Sit down and not to think, just sit down to meditate. I am such a Philistine person that I do not do meditation. I need to do something to think, to activate my mind. And that is my way of doing things. I think this is very important. You find your way of starting to do something, and only sitting there is no use. In the night, when I could not sleep, my brain was very active, but it was not a good active. It's thinking something wrong, thinking something bad, thinking something that scares me. And if you are not in an active movement, if you are not in a positive and feeling good status, your think is not positive, and you will get into a vicious cycle of self-blame, of self-scare. You think about, for example, in the night or in when I sit down, sometimes in this negative mindset, I will think, oh, I didn't do this right. If I do not do this right, I will not make another person happy. And that person does not, if that person is not happy, it will interfere my job, my life, and it just goes bad and bad. And I will think very, very bad. And sometimes I scares myself. I'm thinking, if we are not in a positive mindset and keep thinking, and that is not a good way of solving problem, and it will scare us. It will scare us. It will intimidate ourselves. So start to do something, and no excuse, because that is what we need to do. That is what you need to do. Just do it. No excuse. Do it. Everything is the most difficult. The most difficult in doing anything is the first step. In Chinese, we have a saying, 万事起头难，没有苦哪来甜. This is also in a song. And a lot of time we hear some Chinese, we hear in a book there was a Chinese saying this and that. And as a Chinese, I always do not understand. Do we have such a saying? Okay, so I say this original Chinese words, 万事起头难. 10,000 things. The most difficult thing is to get started. No matter whatever things we do, the most difficult part is the first step. Once we step up the first step, we are almost halfway getting into solving the problem, because we are in the motion of solving problem. We are already in the swing. And the next thing is to keep that motion and keep that movement and being persistent. It's another level of challenge. At least we get over the first level of challenge, that is to get started. No pain, no gain. Without suffering, you will not get a good result. If you do not have bitterness, you cannot get the sweet. That is Chinese saying, 没有苦哪来甜. Without the bitterness, how can you appreciate? How can you get the sweetness? You just have to do it. Just need to start. And do not give yourself an excuse. Shame yourself. Because at this time, nobody dare to shame you. Nobody dare to shame another person. Nobody dare to shame me. We cannot judge. The current political situation is like this. We cannot judge another people. And it makes the challenge into ourselves, because nobody will say, I do not look good. Nobody will say that I eat too much. Nobody will say that I look ugly, because we cannot do the judgment, right? It is not right. It is only you, yourself, me, myself, we, ourselves, need to do the judgment of ourselves, to have this self-conscious. I am not good if I do not eat well. I am not good if I procrastinate. I am not good if I am not motivated. Nobody dare to say us wrong. We should have our own judgment to judge ourselves and say that is wrong. Okay, so once you build up that thought, you build up your judgment, what is right, what is wrong, and start to get started, things will become much easier. How to get started? Because that is the most difficult part. We get started by doing something, by changing something slowly. If you are skinny like a stick, you cannot expect tomorrow you become Arnold Schwarzenegger. His built body was built through a long time. If you are full-bodied, happy and full-bodied, you cannot expect yourself to become Angelina Jolie in one day. You know what I mean, right? So from the change takes time. And if you want to make yourself suddenly to make a change, it is not sustainable. Make a goal and start something slowly. And also, although we need to shame ourselves, we should also at the same time forgive ourselves. There is a balance. I cannot say how much the balance you need to take. You cannot say how much is the right balance I take. Only our body, ourself, knows what is the right balance, where we should forgive ourselves, where we should keep on. And eating healthy is difficult, but also is not difficult. Because if you make a healthy food delicious, it is very edible. Vegetable can be delicious. I cook my vegetable and they are delicious. And there are good, delicious food that is healthy. Not all healthy food are not delicious. You can find delicious food that is healthy. Farmers market has fresh vegetables and fresh fruits, and they are delicious. There was one time I went to, sometimes I buy some vegetables from the nearby shop, and sometimes I spend a little bit more money and buy some food that is fresh, and it's so delicious. And I know in farmers market which store has the food you can see it is so delicious. You cook it without putting much other things. The food itself is delicious. So cook your food, prepare your food, and pay attention to what you eat. And that can be a good start. And it's not that difficult to cook food, because what we need to improve our life is actually the love to ourselves, is the attention to ourselves. Once we put attention, put our love, we will have the motivation to cook food, to wash the dish, to wash the vegetable, and to make some delicious food. Another thing, if you go to buy coffee, you buy coffee with a lot of flavor, with caramel flavor, with mocha flavor, with pumpkin spice flavor, with all these flavors. You cannot enjoy the pure coffee. If you drink tea with sugar, with syrup, with honey, you cannot enjoy the tea. Make it simple. Do not let the spice, the ingredients, the condiments take away the joy of real food. Real food is delicious. Food are delicious by itself. The less you put in, the better it tastes. And through cooking, I know I cannot open a restaurant because my food nobody will eat. It's not delicious. It's no taste. I put salt and pepper, and that's it. And through eating this plain food, you actually enjoy the pure joy of the food, of the vegetables. And you are not eating the spice. And same as coffee. If you drink coffee with some, for example, just a latte, it adoucir, it neutralize or mild a little bit of your coffee. That's it. Do not put too much things. It is the extra that takes away the joy of the thing itself, of the coffee itself. Use less. Use less ingredients and drink less. If you order a coffee, there are three cup sets, small, medium, large. It is the large coffee that makes you lose your body control and make you unwanted weight. Order a small one. It may be more expensive, but your joy from this small cup of coffee might be even bigger, more than a large cup. And so sometimes have less things, have small things, give us the opportunity to enjoy this small thing more, deeper, and longer. So give ourselves the luxury to treat ourselves with less, because the true joy is not allowed, especially in nowadays. Everything becomes so easy to get, and if you walk, if you do things, you can get money and buy things. Maybe I am talking a little bit. There are still people suffering, I know, but for a lot of us, the suffering is actually we are losing the joy of not having things. We are losing the joy of enjoying things, because the joy of enjoying things is actually enjoying the scarcity. Enjoy the less of it. So how to get motivated to do things? Start from something simple, start from something easy. And once you start the first step, which might be a teeny tiny little step, and then you will get comfortable, and then you will get this positive cycle. Oh, I did something good, I feel good, and you keep on doing good things and doing good and become better and better and better. For example, one thing I started to do is to do this, to do the walking. I swam, and so I did some exercise. I swim, so I did exercise, and I did not do a lot of walking. And especially, I think last year, from end of last year, I have done a video because I had a pair of shoes or several pair of shoes which is not comfortable. It's kind of tight, and it made me very uncomfortable, and it hurts a lot. I almost could not walk. And it came to a point that one day I was in Costco and I found a pair of shoes that is very comfortable, that is very soft. And it is time that I start to buy some of these comfortable shoes. So I bought a pair of these shoes. Oh my, that was a life-changing decision. And it was so comfortable. It's as if this pair of shoes is something that that take care of your feet, and it's a pleasure to walk. It's absolutely a pleasure to walk. You want to walk because it's so comfortable. I have never wear something so comfortable, and it costs nothing, $10, $20 something. Anyway, so started from there. I started to walk, and then it becomes very comfortable to walk in the fresh air and in the sunset, cooling down. And I listened to some audiobooks or something. That was the time I started Coursera. I think at that time I listened to biology, because chemistry, because I was doing chemistry and biology. And there was one professor. He was so interesting. It was like listening to stories. So I had a good pair of shoes, and I had a good professor with with interesting and very engaging and very profound knowledge. And also Paul Blumen, his psychology lessons. Anyway, there are so many good lessons, or so many good documentaries, and so many good podcasts. You go to YouTube, go to internet, you get everything. Oh yes, by the way, starting from the day before yesterday, I thought I got so tired of this advertisement. So I started to buy the YouTube Premium, and it changed life. There is no advertisement. I can jump to the video I like immediately. No advertisement. Imagine if in the classroom and you are showing some video, and my own video, even my own video, there are this or that kind of advertisement you cannot show. There are some pretty unshowable advertisements, ads in front of my video, in front of any video anyway. So I started YouTube Premium, and it made my listening even more enjoyable. So get yourself something comfortable and encouraging. It's hard to motivate yourself out of nothing. You have to motivate yourself by doing something right, by treating yourself, by just hugging yourself. Hugging yourself with a good pair of shoes, with good videos. So I started to listen, and I had my iPhone. I use iPhone that headset, and with wires. And I put one on my ear and two on my ear, so I do not hear other things. And then I found it's maybe not so safe, because you want to also know what is going on. So I went to Beijing. There was this summer I went to Beijing, and my sister had wireless headset, Bluetooth headset, and she gave me, and I'm still using it. So good, changed life. So even if I bike, I put 1 year with my headset and listen. And biking or walking, you have a good pair of shoes, you have a headset. There's no excuse you do not do activities, right? So get the right thing, get the right equipment. You can enjoy very much these things. So how to motivate yourself? Treat yourself, and do things seriously. 打虎拉出打虎的架势. This is my classmates. When you do something, prepare yourself as if you are really serious about it. And you want to exercise, buy a pair of new shoes, buy a pair of new comfy gym outfit, and get a new bicycle, or if you do not want to invest on it, a pair of comfortable shoes you can afford, right? Because it changed life. It has changed my life. So you can walk very comfortably, and the headset does not cost much. There are expensive ones or less expensive ones. Get a headset, listening to your favorite music, to your favorite podcast, to your favorite anything, and walk. That's very, it's a very enjoyable thing. You get outside of your indoor place, go to see nature, go to see the big trees, and when you go, you can take pictures, you can do so many things, and it is very enjoyable, right? So that I think that is about it. And oh, I didn't talk about procrastination. Procrastinate is because we fear something. I procrastinate all the time. And I can talk about it is because I made a good example of procrastination. One thing is that if you want to change, start from slow, start from doing something. If you have a big job, chop it up into small sections of job. Today do one thing, tomorrow do another thing. If the job, if you cut the job into doable chunk, it will become much doable. And the joy when you finish something is unbelievable. I heard one person wrote a story, wrote a diary, and wrote a note how happy she was every time she finished something, and she recorded. And every time when she's lazy, she listened to that recording or read that diary, that journal. Oh, it is so good. I finished something, and that feeling that encouraged her to keep on doing that thing that she's afraid of or scared of. So make something that is self-motivating, and chop up the big hard job into doable small parts, and accept that is one's weakness. This is my weakness. I accept. It includes, I accept the shame of not finishing the work on time. I accept the shame of behind other people because I didn't do my job. I didn't do enough of my job. And once you accept it and not too afraid of it, it becomes easier for you to finish it. Do I make any sense? Anyway, this is a beautiful, beautiful afternoon walk. And when you see the beautiful trees, you may want to go out, right? And it's not very far from where I live. 10 minutes drive or 5 minutes drive, I arrived there. There are so many new places. You do not even need to travel around the world to find interesting things. Of course, you can do that. But our everyday life, our mundane life, is interesting, is fun, is fascinating. And for that, I will stop here. I wish you a happy every day. I love you. I really do. Do. Bye bye for rent.